Hey guys, it's Jake here, and today I am here with week number 8 of NPL Minors. This week we are going up against IA, coach of the Connecticut Cobalions. And in case you're not aware, II is a very good player. He made second place in the March Madness tournament just about a month ago, and he also just had pretty good success in most leagues. He isn't having his best season right now in minors, but minors is really competitive, and I think a couple of his losses could be due to hacks. But so yeah, still I is a very good player, and I definitely needed to put everything I had to this game, because this game is very important when it comes for the playoff race. Because if I lose, I is now ahead of me in the race, and I really cannot afford that. Because of my loss to Uzi last week. My differential and my record kind of just set me back a lot, so I need to bounce back with a win, or else people like II or John W will catch up to me, and only 3 people in each conference make playoffs in minors, and right now it is Turbo leading. I am tied with Owen in terms of record, but his differential is much better, and then behind me there's people like John, II, and Keegan who are 3 and 4. But I can't really lose a game and fall to the 4-loss level, so I really need to hopefully try and win out. Although if I win 2 out of 3 of my next 3 games, I'm in a pretty good spot. But this is probably the most important game I have. I can probably see that I think this game kind of probably in the end might decide who makes playoffs. So this is a very important game for both of us. But II's team is kind of annoying to build for just because it's a very gimmicky team. I'll read off his team in a sec. His team consists of Manaphy, Z Latios, Doug Trio, Mega Aerodactyl, Rotom Heat, which can easily moves, Cobalion, Excelgor, Donphan, Sneasels, Trevenant, Linoon, and Mawile. So yeah, definitely a very gimmicky team built around kind of odd win cons. Manaphy can be very reliable with setup pretty much every week. Latios is there just because it's a Latios is there just because it's like a round 1 pick, and it can really bring teams together just with its great speed and all the different things it can run. And then Mega Aerodactyl was really nice because of its great speed and its ability to run just run so much bulk, and still have a lot of just speed creep, and still have a lot of bulk left over for stuff. So and then he's also got annoying stuff, like he's got Spike Stack and Excelgor, he's got Pursuit Trapper and Sneasel, he has Trevenant, which can do some annoying things, and then he has Linoon, which is always annoying. But I don't think Linoon is that good this game, so I didn't prep that much for it. But I'm not sure if it's the best draft, but it's definitely an annoying one to prep for. I'll talk about his threats in a minute. Sorry if my commentary is a bit different. I'm just really tired, and I'm in a rush to get this game up because I don't want to have another late upload like last week. I uploaded on Friday, but I'm going to try and get this up on Thursday today. So, first up we have Manaphy. Manaphy is not Z eligible, which makes it a lot easier to deal with, thankfully. But it's still a pretty big threat to my team, just because, especially if it's Calm Mind, it can be really annoying for me to revenge, just because my team is pretty slow. The only thing on my team that outspeed are Garchomp, which just gets output by Ice Beam, Alakazam, and the Salazzle, which can't really hit Manaphy hard at all if it has CMs up. So yeah, definitely very annoying Mon. He's also got the Latios. Latios, it's kind of annoying for Latios to fit moves versus my team, but I'm thinking, because it's Z eligible, I'm thinking something like a Calm Mind, Never Ending Nightmare is a pretty good set, with probably Psychic as the other move, and then Recover. But that's kind of walled by Bisharp. So yeah, Latios is a bit difficulty choosing its moves this game, which is why I'm thinking maybe a choice Latios might be better. something like a Specs Latios to catch my Jirachi on the Switch. I'm thinking is kind of likely, but still a pretty big threat. I definitely need to be wary of Calm Mind because it can just sweep my team if I'm unprepared. Just because it's Calm Mind Latios is very annoying for me to revenge if it has Calm Minds up. So yeah. I also had the Dugtrio. I honestly wasn't too worried about Dugtrio in prep, just because I feel like just like a lot of the mons I weren't bringing didn't really care about Dugtrio. But I can definitely see it coming, just because if you look at my draft, it's nice to trap stuff like Jirachi, a weakened Garchomp, and Salazzle, and I guess Bisharp if it's Sash and doesn't mind Sucker Punches. But yeah, I could see it coming, but I'm not too concerned about it. And then he's also got the Mecha Aerodactyl, which is a huge threat to my team just because it outspeeds everything with ease, and it can run a ton of bulk, and I just don't really switch into it that well. Jirachi takes a ton from Earthquake or Crunch. Chomp takes a million from Ice Fang. Shaman is 2-KO'd by a Wing Attack or Aerial Release. Togekiss drops. Dusclops is my best answer to it. Salazzle just gets OHKO'd. Quillfish can take it on decently well, but it gets weakened quickly. Rotom just gets destroyed. Same with Bisharp. Alakazam can do stuff if it's Sash. Better than that, it just gets OHKO'd. And Mega Kang can kind of take hits and do damage back. So, as you can see, you see Big Daddy Dusclops on the screen. That'll be my primary arrow answer. But yeah, still very big threat. I don't switch into Aerodactyl as well at all. It's also the Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat is a ginormous threat to my team, because if you just look at my drafts, it 1v1s like pretty much everything. Like Jirachi like just hates Overheat. Garchomp can either gets Willowed or Hidden Power Iced. Shaman Overheat. Togekiss Volt Switch or Thunderbolt. Dusclops can't do much back. Salazzle 2-KO by Electric Move and can't 2-KO Spadef. Quillfish dies to Electric Move. Rotom loses. Bisharp loses. Zam can like get Thunder Wave or something. And Kang is kind of my best response, but still it doesn't appreciate being T-Waved or taking like a Specs Overheat at all. So yeah, Rotom Heat is a huge threat to my team. So yeah, definitely gotta be on the lookout for that. He's also got the Cobalion, something like a Dual Dance Cobalion, something I was really fearing in prep. But I feel like if I have stuff like Dusclops and the Quillfish, I really don't think he's gonna bring it. I think something like just a fast support Cobalion to get up rocks is his most likely set. He's also got the Excelgor. I was pretty scared of Excelgor getting up spikes in the builder, but while we're all building, so I was really tempted to bring removal just because of Excelgor. But as you're gonna see, my team is pretty offensive, so I don't really mind spikes that much. So yeah, they're not the biggest deal. So I didn't bring removal as a result. He's also had the Donphan. Donphan will probably be his likely response to Kangaskhan, so I'm thinking a Helmet Donphan. It's very likely. And as you can see on my screen right now, I have Scarf Garchomp, which is my win con, and so I need to create some lures to get that Donphan weakened early, so I can try and hopefully clean with my Donphan Garchomp late game. And getting the Donphan weakened is pretty crucial for that. He's also got the Sneasel. Sneasel, I really didn't want to prep for. Well, I mean, I prepped for it, of course, like I brought coverage and stuff. But I didn't really want to bring a Switch into because I felt like I really lost a lot if I prepared for it. So I'm just going to play offensively when it comes to the Sneasel. I do have stuff that can definitely take hits from it. So it's not the biggest deal, but I don't really have a good Switch into Sneasel, so it's annoying in that regard. Trevenant, I don't find it coming at all. I just have stuff that completely shuts it down. Linoon, I don't think has its best matchup because I have stuff like Bisharp, Jirachi, and Dusclops. And it kind of has difficulty setting up on stuff for my team. And then Mawile is something I saw in a couple mocks. It definitely has a niche. I was thinking a Balloon Mawile could be a very nice answer to my Garchomp, but in the end, I didn't prefer that much just because I felt like my team can just kind of weaken it easily. So yeah, that's enough about his threats, and let me get into his team. Now, first up, I have my win con, my Scarf Guard Jump, with just 4 attacks. This mon is so good versus his team. His 2 dragon resists are Cobalion and Mawile, both which just die. They just take 1,000,000 from Earthquake if they're not like Balloon or something. So yeah, that's fantastic. I outspeed everything. Stone Edge, Oko's, Aerodactyl after rocks, Dragon Claw, and Outrage and Earthquake just for everything else. The speed is speed creeping, a max speed like Timid, Rotom Heat. I didn't speed creep Manaphy just because it won't be scarfed and I'll be outspeeding it anyway. But yeah, overall great win con. It really gives me a key revenger for something like a Combine Latios. It gives me something to outspeed Arrow, which is huge. It's consistently outspeed Scarf, Rotom Heat. This defense investment means I can take a Life Orb, Sneasel's Ice Shard, which is very nice. And yeah, overall, just really good win con versus team. He does not switch into it well, and outspeeds pretty much all I need to. So yeah, great mod versus team. Next up, I have my Alakazam, which is a Sash set this week, rocking Psychic, Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, and Thunder Wave. Psychic is just a good stab versus stuff like the Dugtrio, the Mega Arrow, the Rotom Heat, Cobalion, pretty much everything else. Just does a very nice chunk of damage. Dazzling Gleam is for the Latios and the Sneasel. Dazzling Gleam is a roll in my favor to Oko, Sneasel, so yeah, pretty nice there. Energy Ball is so I have something to do a KO the Manaphy just because Manaphy is a pretty big threat, and if I'm in a situation where Manaphy is like +3 or something and I just have my Zam, I can throw out Zam. I can Energy Ball into a KO it, so that is very nice. And then Thunder Wave is the last move I threw on there just in case I'm in a scenario where it's Aerodactyl versus Zam. I can throw it out there if I still have my Sash intact. Thunder Wave if he attacks me, and then I can outspeed it, meaning stuff like my Shaman, my Zam, my Kang, and my Jirachi can all outspeed it, which is really good for the rest of my team. So yeah. Very nice mod. I'm running max speed, Timid, by the way, so I can speed tie with Dugtrio if it needs to come down to that. And yeah, overall, just very nice mod in this game. Outspeeds a ton of his team, barring Axelgor and Rotom Heat. Gets some nice damage off. Thunder Wave stuff with my Sash if need be. And it gives me something to outspeed Sneasel besides Garchomp, which is very key. So yeah, next up I have my offensive Shaman with the Yachi Berry, rocking Seed Flare, Hidden Power, Rock, Toxic, and Earth Power. Seed Flare hits his team very well apart from the... He has 2 resists. He has 3 resists. Rotom Heat, Latios, and Cobalion, and Excelgor and Maw, but I'm not really scared of those in this scenario. Hidden Power Rock is something else that I can throw Rotom Heat with. I did toy around with the Specs Shaman for a while with Hidden Power Rock, so I can catch the Rotom Heat on the switch and hit it really hard. But I figured Yachi is nice, so I can take an Ice Whip Crash from Sneasel if need be, and take Ice Beams from Manaphy, and take maybe an Ice Fang from Aerodactyl if he doesn't want to run Wing Attack. But yeah, Toxic is for the it's pretty much for the Rotom Heat and the Latios. Nice to catch those on the switch if need be. And then Earth Power is for the Cobalion. Having something to weaken the Cobalion is pretty nice, especially for my Garchomp to hopefully get in range Dragon Claw. But yeah, this thing's job is to basically it's a very solid wall breaker versus team. If I bring this in on Dugtrio, I get some big hit on something. Same goes for Manaphy. I can bring this in on Cobalion. I take hits with these and just can fire off an Earth Power. If I think it'll stay in, I can Toxic the Latios so it can't just Calm Mind Recover on my face. But yeah, very nice mod in this game. Next up, I have pretty nice set, my Donphan lore that I was talking about. A mixed Workup Kangaskhan rocking Workup Facade, Surf, and Thunder Punch. Facade is because I wanted some physical stab, and I felt like I might get status by some stuff like Rotom Heat, Manaphy with Scald Burn, perhaps. Because with this bulk and because of Kang's natural bulk, I can actually take a +3 Scald and do a lot of damage back. But yeah, like just overall good stab. And then next up I have Surf, and Surf is so I can catch the Donphan, and +1 Surf will easily 2k a Donphan and even put it in range of 2 Dragon Claws. So yeah, that is 2 Dragon Claws for my Garchomp, so that's really nice. And Surf is also nice because it hits other stuff like Rotom Heat. And the reason I had Surf over something like Ice Beam, which you might think is just better, is because Surf, first off, here's a big reason. First off, it means that an Aerodactyl can't just roost on me. If I think Aerodactyl is going to roost, I can make the mid-ground play and go for the Surf, because if I ran Ice Beam, he would lose his Flying typing, and then he would, you know, not take that much from Ice Beam. But if I run Surf, the Rock half is weak to water, so I can do that. It also does lots of Rotom Heat, and also it means if he wants to go Cobalion versus my King, when I already have a workup up, it'll do more than, and I go for the Surf, it'll do more than Ice Beam would, because it's not resisted. And then Thunder Punch is because I wanted something to hit the Manaphy and the Aerodactyl a bit harder, just in case I'm not burned. So yeah, very nice set. The bulk is just there, so I take hits from a lot of his team. As I mentioned earlier, I can take like a +3 Scald from Manaphy and do a lot of damage back. I can take hits from Latios pretty well. I don't believe I 2k'd by Arrow Stone Edge, and I just take other hits really well. So, yeah, because Kang is a very bulky mon. So next up, I have my Mixed Defensive Dusclops rocking Toxic, Nightshade, Haze, and Pain Split. This mod gives me a nice pivot into Rotom Heat, and I can Toxic it, which is really important just for getting that thing weakened. This is my main switch into Aerodactyl. I didn't run Will-O-Wisp, but I felt like Toxic was better than Will-O-Wisp because I felt he had better counterplay to Will-O-Wisp, such as the Manaphy, the Latios. But I felt like Toxic really nice, just to really cripple those walls. This thing wants me once Cobalion because I can just Nightshade it down. Haze is nice for stuff like a Calm Mind, Manaphy, or Latios, or something like a setup Cobalion. And as well as Linoon. So yeah, Frisk is great because I can see what things items are. Even though it won't be that good this game, because I'll probably be bringing this thing on the Arrow, which is obviously Aerodactylite. But yeah, very nice pivot into the Aerodactyl Rotom Heat. Toxicing stuff is great. Pain Split is just to get a bit of health back and annoy him. And yeah, next up I have my Jirachi. My Jirachi is my dedicated lead this game. I'm rocking a Shuka Berry Jirachi with Rocks, Energy Ball, Psychic, and T-Wave. Rocks are huge this game for getting that 25% damage on the Rotom Heat, Aerodactyl, and Excelgor, even every time they come in. Psychic hits everything on his team apart from the Latios. Or Psychic plus Energy Ball hits everything on his team apart from the Latios and the Mawile. And I guess the Sneasel, but yeah, I'm modest Jirachi because I want to do as much damage as possible to stuff like the Cobalion, the Donphan, the Manaphy, which will probably be coming in versus me. Shuka is very nice because I can take an Earthquake from Aerodactyl, I can take an Earthquake from Dugtrio and kill it with Energy Ball. I can take an Earthquake from Donphan and do a ton of damage with an Energy Ball freely. Energy Ball 2 KOs Manaphy. So Thunder Wave for the Latios and the Aerodactyl is great. This thing can get some decent chip on the Rotom Heat with Psychic. And I believe I am speed creeping. What does 271 hit? I don't remember. But I'm speed creeping modest Rotom Heat, which hits 271. And yeah, overall, just I'm gonna lead with this, and then just try and throw out hits to get damage on his team for stuff like my Garchomp and my Zam. So yeah, that's my team. I'm a pretty offensive team, but I'm feeling really confident about this team. I think I built a great team. So yeah, without further ado, I'll get into the game. Alright, here we are with the game versus II, and as you can see, he decides to bring a team of Mega Aerodactyl, Donphan, Sneasel, Excelgor, Dugtrio, and the Manaphy, and he did not bring the Latios, which is always a very nice thing to see. He did also not bring the Rotom Heat, which I was just astounded by. I thought Rotom Heat was like so good versus my team, and I was really happy not to see it. He didn't bring, and he also didn't bring the Cobalion or the Mawile, which means no Dragon Resist, which means my Garchomp goes ham. No Trevenant and no Linoon, which is not surprising, honestly. But yeah, my dedicated lead is my Jirachi, and that is not going to change. I'm just going to lead off with my Jirachi right now, as he leads off with his Aerodactyl. And turn one, I'm thinking, there's a lot of my possibilities for my Jirachi set, so I really think he's going to switch out, because this is like his win con. Or at least it should be, because it's so good versus my team. And I really thought he would switch out and just like scout for potential Scarf Jirachi or like T-Wave Jirachi. So I get on my rocks predicting him to switch. But as you're going to see, he just stays and goes for the Earthquake, and I could have T-Waved him there, but I really felt like he'd switch out. But yeah, like if I T-Waved and he went to Donphan, I wouldn't have been in a good position, because I would have been forced to like Energy Ball, and like I would have been in a much better position if I got at my rocks as he went Donphan, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I really didn't expect that we would play turn 1, but at least I got on my rocks, which is very good. So now I go into my Dusclops, because it is my dedicated answer, and I just take nothing from that Earthquake, and I just fire for Toxic. He doesn't have a switch in, and he goes into Manaphy, and this very well could be a Rain Dance set. I love Spring Rain Dance Manaphy, but I'm still gonna go for Nightshade and see what he wants to do. As he goes for the Ice Beam, trying to catch my Shaman on the switch. But I'm just gonna keep firing off Nightshades in case until he does something different. And then he goes for the Rain Dance. So here on this turn, I really felt like he's either gonna rest or just fire off another Surf. So I'm gonna go into my Shaman, because there's a very good chance I outspeed this Manaphy and a Miyachi Berry, so I don't care about Ice Beams at all. And he really just doesn't have a switch in. So here, I go for the Seed Flare as he goes to Excelgor, and I miss. Now this miss is huge, because that Seed Flare would have done about 40 to 50%, meaning it would have been in range of Nightshade from my Dusclops. But because of that miss, Nightshade would be a 3 KO for my Dusclops onto this, meaning he would get 3 layers of Spikes up with ease if he wanted to go for Spikes here, which would make sense because I have no removal. But because of that miss, I decide I really don't want him getting 3 layers of Spikes up. If I hit, I would have been able. He would have been able to get 2 up at max, because I would have gone to my Dusclops and he would have died to the next Nightshade. But Nightshade does like 30 to the investment, which I'm expecting, like Speed Creeping my Zam, but and Modest. So yeah, because of that, I decided I don't want him getting 3 layers of Spikes up, and I'm gonna pull a switch to my Garchomp, because I can live any like Life Orb respects Bug Buzz, and if he goes for the Spike, I can outspeed him on the next turn and kill him. But as I'm gonna see, he's gonna go for the Life Orb Bug Buzz, and my Garchomp takes a ton of damage. I know it's kind of odd for me to risk the win con, but I don't need to keep this thing that healthy, because he does have the Sneasel in the back, and I already really weakened the Manaphy, which is nice, but it's still. But because of that miss, I felt like I was forced to do this. I couldn't let him get that many Spikes up, but he just went for the Bug Buzz. But now I can outspeed it and go for the Dragon Claw. And I was thinking I can preserve my Garchomp most likely. I don't think he's going to be Scarf Dugtrio. It just doesn't make sense. But as you're going to see, he's actually going to go right into his Dugtrio, and he is going to be Scarf and trap me. And I lose my Garchomp, which is kind of unfortunate. I believe I wouldn't have had I not missed the Seed Flare. I considered HP rocking, but it only did like 6% more, and I felt Seed Flare was just more free, and I figured he might just want to sack his Manaphy anyway. But because I know that is a Scarf Dugtrio, this is not all bad, because now I can go into my Shaman and get a kill. He has no switch in. Anything dies as he just sacks off his Manaphy, which is what I would have done. Now here he goes down to a Sneasel, and this was a really tough play. So I have Miyachi Barret, and I can live any hit, but I really want to keep this thing healthy, just because it gets a kill every time the Dugtrio or the Donphan, like every time I come in. So I figured staying out of the range of the Aerodactyl might be worth, and I don't really need my Jirachi that much this game because my Sugar Berry is popped. So I figured, I think just sacking that and going into my Kangaskhan is the better play, which is what I'm going to do. He goes for the Icicle Crash, and he will take Life Orb, which shows the item I'm expecting, and then he can just kill me with Knockoff. Here goes onto my Kang. I can live any hit with ease, especially low kick, and I'm actually going to go for the workup, predicting the Donphan, because I'm thinking Sneasel is so good versus these last few mons, and he has such an obvious counter to like a standard physical Kangaskhan in the back. I feel like he's most definitely going to go into it. So I make the play and go for the workup. I wasn't 2KO'd by like a stab move anyway. Low kick could have 2KO'd me, but I really didn't feel like he would go for it. But yeah, I get that play right, and now I can just fire for Surf and 2KO the Donphan, which is fantastic. I eat that Earthquake just because of Kang's bulk. And now he goes out into his Dugtrio, probably because nothing else he had would kill me. Arrow would just die with Thunder Punch, and Sneasel would die to Facade, and he probably felt like this was his most expendable mon, so he's probably just sacking me to get damage, and I'm fine. I can just go for the Facade and kill him. So Kang picking up 2 kills definitely did its job. It got rid of the Donphan, and it used its bulk to take hits and do damage back. I don't need this Kang anymore, so I can just sack it off to the knockoff, and okay, so this was a big play. So I have 3 mods left, and he still has the Arrow in the back. Arrow is a huge threat, and I felt like I really needed my Alakazam's Focus Sash in the back, because I needed to Thunder Wave that thing, just because Arrow could have just 1v1 by both teams with the right set. And Sneasel, I figured I could have lived a hit, but I didn't. I want to keep it out of range of a wing attack if possible. And I also want to keep my Yachi Bear intact in case he uses Ice Fang, and I also just didn't want to take that damage. But my Dusclops can actually live any hit from the Sneasel, because I know he is Jolly Life Orb from the damage that was done to my Jirachi with the Icicle Crash. So I know I can live any hit right here, and I can just fire off a Nightshade. I don't need my Dusclops for the Arrow if I have my Zam. So I just knew I can live any hit, and I can fire off a Nightshade and kill up the Sneasel. So now it's Arrow versus Zam and Shaman. I know that my Dusclops will die here, but I can go out into my Alakazam. And I know once I pair this, I can outspeed it with both, so I should have this game in the bag as long as I hit my moves, because I don't even need to hit, because I do have Hidden Power Rock, and Psychic into Hidden Power Rock will most likely kill. But, yeah, I get that thing paralyzes. He Roost. He said he was predicting counter, which makes sense, but Thunder Wave was just more safe. I go for the Psychic, and I am able to 2KO him. So yeah, we pick up the 2-0 win versus II. Very quick game, but everything in my plan everything in my game plan kind of worked. The Kang set worked. I got Roxip to stay with my Jirachi because it's just pressured his team well. And I paired losing my Garchomp wasn't really that part of the plan, but yeah, the C-Form has kind of led to that. But yeah, overall good game to II. You played and prepped pretty well. But yeah, we pick up a huge win, and